Hi, Jules here for Talk to Me Tuesday on Wednesday, June 12th. First and foremost, I got my Talk to Me Tuesday shirt, and I'm excited about that. I wasn't sure whether to get the lady cut that everybody else has been getting, and it looks really cute, but I'm a big girl and I wanted it to fit. So I went just with your basic boxy guy tee, thinking that I could always modify it later if I wanted to. Not a lot going on the quilting machine right now. The extension table I made worked well enough to finish the quilt I was working on, but it was too large, too tall. So it did get in the way sometimes, so I'm working on a replacement for that. I was looking in my closet for, I was thinking about grabbing out, I have this like 1-inch thick cork board that used to be screwed onto my daughter's wall when she was young. And I had thought about using that and maybe just cutting it to the size I wanted. And then I saw this, which some of you may remember as the cutting table that I fixed up for my Singer 301 back when I was first learning how to do free motion quilting. It originally was meant for the Simplicity rotary, it's like an electric rotary cutter tool. And I got the table with no legs really cheap at Joann because someone had stolen the legs, of all things. So I got the table really cheap, but I had to fix up legs, and I did do that back in the day with these, they were craft foam marshmallows, which I stacked two together, duct taped them together, and then super glued into the holes. Unfortunately, this is too tall, or too short, I mean, for the FOF, and I've decided I don't mind cutting this up, destroying it, etc., whatever, because I don't use the Singer for free motion quilting anymore. If I do use it, it's as a backup machine to take on retreat or whatever, so I'm not ever going to need this as I'm not going to be taking this with me on retreat. So it was too narrow here, but there was this weird little ledge that actually worked great with the Singer 301, but made it too narrow to get on the FOF. So I've been using, thanks to my dad having tons of tools for just about everything, I have a bunch of his tools that I keep in here for whatever might crop up. And he had a plastic cutter. So I've been working on removing the little lip that was right here. And I think I've just about got it to the right size. I just need to file all the jaggedies down and sand it. And until I get it to just the right, so it'll slip right on. It's almost there. And then I'm going to have to replace the legs because these legs are too short. So I'm going to go digging around the garage for a dowel. And if I don't find one there, I'll just go buy one. And then we will remove the marshmallows, the marshmallow legs. So that's all there is to do with that. Let's see. What else do I need to talk about? Well, this past weekend we did have the June meeting for Project Linus, and I did go to the meeting. I had 2 blankets to turn in, and I finished patching or stitching down the patch that I had put on the chicken quilt, and I challenged people to find the patch, and they could not find it. So I'm going to call that a serious win. And then I also finished a quilt that the top had come from Susan, and I've dubbed it Susan's Sports Ball Quilt. I think it was a charm pack, just sort of a sports themed red, white, and blue charm pack. And the backing fabric was some of that flannel, the yardage of flannel that I got that the estate had donated to Project Linus, and we went shopping at the one lady's house. And the backing was that, and the binding, thanks to my trusty AccuQuilt, I have a sack full of 2.5-inch strips, and the binding was just left from that. It was just, I just grabbed some dark blues out of that. And yeah, so I'm going to insert pictures of those Project Linus donations here. So, what you'll see behind me is a new top in progress for Project Linus. And the reason for that is, you may remember a while back from that same donation that I got all of that flannel yardage from, I also got a partial panel of this redwork, this faux redwork. It had been cut up a bit and was strange shaped, so I couldn't just use the panel whole. So I figured I would cut them up and piece them together. Well, this past weekend, we had another huge donation of fabric, and someone donated 3 yards, about 3 yards, of the exact same panel, only in blue. So, voila. So this is the quilt I'm working on. This one is a combination of the red and blue. This is all the red squares I have. So I've got to make it work. And actually, I need 1, 2, 3, 4 blues, which I will have no problem doing. I have like 5 or 6 sitting right here. So I will fill in with those. Whatever is left cut will go get pieced into the back. And then I will probably do, if I don't do another quilt from this blue panel, because I'll still have 2 yards left, I will take it back and let someone else make one. So there's that. Then someone also donated, there was a lot of panels. So someone also donated, in that same donation, voila, was this panel. So I think I have enough stuff to do a nice border. I might even just do a charm square border or a 6.5 inch square border or something around that. And then I'll be able to quilt that. I was thinking this panel might be fun to, it has bears. I don't know, I might add something that doesn't belong in this picture, somewhere in this picture. Maybe more than one. We'll see what I do about that. I think it needs another animal in there somewhere that you wouldn't expect to find in that picture. Then there's this panel, and I'm going to do the same thing with it. I think this one could do with some, it's obviously going to need a top and a bottom added to it. But I think, oh, I'm not even showing you the right side. Here we go. It's going to need a top and a bottom added to it. But I also think it really needs, I don't know, maybe some sea monsters in the ocean. So we'll have to see about that. Like a little head coming out of the ocean somewhere. I don't know. That's kind of like my new favorite thing. There was this, which is like a storybook panel about space. And in that large donation from before, remember I got a partial panel of space along with some space fabric. So I think between the two, this is one of those books. I think between the two, I ought to be able to piece a nice sized elementary school age quilt. There's also another book panel. The little engine that could. I don't even know if this is necessarily a book panel. This could totally be done exactly as it is. But knowing me, I might have to add something somewhere. So we'll see. There were 2 of these, so I'll let somebody else take the other one. And I might yet change my mind and take it back. That's the beauty of these donations. And then you'll remember the one I had up on the wall earlier with the bears, the little playscape. Well, here's a crap ton more of that exact same print, or something very similar. I don't think it's exactly the same, but it is very, very similar. And this is this is at least 2 yards of the panel. So that'll make a good sized quilt. And then I may just stick some in another quilt, or take some back, whatever's left after I cut it off. Probably need to add some more animals to that too. And here's another panel. Like I said, a good week for panels. This one's much shorter, so again, just one repeat of the pattern. Kind of similar, except no bears this time. So that clearly needs some critters on it somewhere. And then someone donated some, they'd taken a cheater panel, which basically has blocks that look like quilt blocks, but obviously it's all just fabric printed onto the fabric. And so, and this was a tote bag panel, and I'm going to combine them all together. So I have this tote bag panel, which these can be cut. They're going different directions, obviously. These 2 can be cut into squares. The fabric there could be used as more blocks and sashing, etc. And then it's that old-fashioned-y looking print. And I took some of the cheater squares to go with it, including this kitty, because I thought, even though it's a different color blue, I felt like it went really well. Style-wise, it goes really well. And then there's just this kitty fabric, which also, I think, goes with it really well. So that could make a nice separation between blocks. And this cheater block, another kitty. So there's 2 kitties, and then there's 2 together in this one leftover bit of cheater panel. Dresden blocks. Dresden plate. I've always loved how these look, and I know that this is the closest I will ever come to making one. So there's that. So I felt like all of that could somehow go into one quilt. That may change. It may end up being 2 quilts, but we'll see. And that's it. Oh no, and then along with that, I was also going to cut up this bunny that came in that huge donation before. That clearly was meant to be part of it, like a toaster cozy or something. And I felt like that was the very same style as that as well. So, as those cheater blocks. So, that's what I'm going to put in there. That's all I have to share with you for now. I look forward to watching the rest of your videos. I'm about halfway through for now. And I hope everybody has a crafty week, and I will see you next week. Bye!